guys? Welcome back to another draft stream. I'm David, and with me today, a very special guest who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. We've got Joe, better known as Toshi, the Psychic Gardener, former hardcore grinder, used to be into raid challenges, and has a very impressive level 40 bird collection you guys should definitely ask him about sometime. And then became one of the best Sylph battlers in the early days. I don't think he does Sylph anymore, but you can still catch him on Twitch. It's like somewhat active, right, on the GBL scene still. So, yeah, Joe, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, definitely ask me about that level 40 Swallow. It strikes fear into the hearts of many. But yeah, no, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Definitely still do GBL from time to time, and I still do a little Sylph, but not as much as I used to, admittedly.
I mean, who does at this
Yeah,
point, right?
yeah.
Who has time for that anymore in the modern era? Who has time
So,
for this
there's a
game
lot going
anymore?
on. There's a lot going on.
I don't even know why we're here, why we're streaming this, why we're even playing this game. But hey, you know, you guys decided to spend your weekend with us, so.
Hey, this is being streamed? Oh man, I thought we were just hanging out.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know. I just ended up here in this chair. I'm usually in this chair like most days of the week anyway, so
Exactly.
it's like it's no sweat off my back to
Yeah.
do this.
I just showed up. I didn't know we were doing anything.
All right, so are we ready to get into like some of the matchups? Like look at this or
Oh yeah, man. Let's do it.
okay, nice. Look at these beautiful teams, beautifully constructed. I have nothing negative to say about any of this. And just like an FYI, guys, we're gonna keep it very civil in chat today. No matter what you see, what you hear, okay? We're all people at the end of the day. We need to respect each other, you know, understand that we're in a high pressure situation in this tournament. So even if you see plays that just it's inescapable, you know, it's indescribable what you're seeing and you just can't fathom why somebody would do this. Just remember, you know, they're in a difficult spot. You gotta make these decisions quickly on the fly, okay? So don't judge them, all right? You're
To
in
be
no
fair,
position to do so anyway.
I have never once heard you say a negative thing ever, so this is
Of
right in
course.
your wheelhouse. You know, just all positivity and flowers.
Exactly. Um, so I guess before we get into the matchups, you know, just briefly looking through the table, do you have any favorite teams? You know, any teams stick out to you as like, oh man, this is like particularly well built. I think this person has a good chance to like win it all.
Well, anyone who knows me knows how much I love water Pokemon, so that Swampert Gyarados team jumped out at me immediately. I love those Pokemon, mostly in Ultra League, but in Master League as well. But beyond that, the main thing I noticed is that these teams are all very flexible, and they all have like some really safe Pokemon that I think could lead to some team comps that are less static and with more different ways to play through matchups. So I'm looking forward to seeing how each trainer puts their own take on these teams.
Yeah, for sure. You know, for me personally, and I know Lugia holds a special place in your heart as one of the early adopters of it in GBL pre-Dragon Tail buff. I know you tried to make it work. I think the Lugia team is especially strong with the Genesect for coverage and the Mew as a safe swap. I mean, you basically have like 2 safe swaps on that team, 3 if you want to count the Genesect. I like Heater's team with like the reliable Dialga Lando core and then like the Yveltal just to frustrate those Giratinas and Mewtwo's. I think Stefan's team is okay with, you know, the Origin and the Excadrill is like a pretty reliable combo with Gary as like a pseudo dragon answer. I like the raw power of Kelsey's team with the Altered and the Resh. I think that's a lot of stat product to get through, especially with the Snorlax. And the Primarine, I mean, that's just a very anti-dragon team. And I do it's a little risky to do like the Dragonite and the Ho that Flume did like in the early rounds, but like he has a very solid like he has 2 solid answers for Charm in Mewtwo and the Ho. And he has a lot of offensive pressure, I think, with the Dragonite and the Tyranitar, so I'm curious to see how that works out for him.
Yeah, totally agree. I also love the Milotic. I think it's really flexible and it doesn't really get a lot of fanfare. Just the moveset flexibility is really fun against a lot of the meta options he's gonna have to be facing.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe there are Twitter polls for all the matchups today that are still open on the PoGoRaids Twitter, so you still have time, I believe, to go vote. So if you haven't done that already, go do that. You know, we'd like to hear your input on how you think the matchups are going to go today. And yeah, I'm ready to get into the first one.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, so up first we've got Oscar versus Blue Anthrax. Very exciting. Oscar, of course, took Kyogre first because Kyogre is, just it's so dominant, and there really is nothing else like it. We call Milotic Walmart Kyogre,
Yeah.
but like it really can't do what Kyogre can do. So I think with how many dragons there currently are in the Master League meta, it makes a lot of sense to grab it first. He grabbed the Melmetal second. That gives him, he has now really good anti-flyer coverage, I think, and then stacking that dragon weakness wasn't too difficult to address with the number of new fairies that have been added, and of course the number of dragons that you can play in sort of those neutral matchups. So I think Oscar did a pretty good job building his team. Thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, what does Anthrax do to beat that Kyogre? Like you said, it's so reliable and without any like water resist. Raikou's fine, but Kyogre can work its way through that matchup. Mewtwo similar. I think Oscar's going to really be able to rely on that Kyogre in every game. And I think we're gonna have to see a lot of Raikou and I guess Mewtwo to just try and work your way through it.
For sure. Raikou pretty much to really put some pressure on Kyogre, it's gonna have to run Volt Switch, but then that gives you a worse matchup with Latios. You won't have as much charge move pressure to reach those Shadow Balls faster. But I think overall Volt Switch is the right way to go. It gives you more pressure against like Kyogre and the Melmetal, and you can do more damage to like Sylveon as well. And then yeah, as you said on like the Anthrax side, the Mewtwo's really safe. Probably Mewtwo and Raikou need to come like every game. You
Agreed.
could lead the Garchomp. Garchomp has pretty strong neutral matchups against everything that isn't Avalugg and Sylveon, and then that gives you like the Mewtwo safe swap and maybe try and sweep with the Raikou in the end game. But overall, I think Oscar has the stat product advantage with the Kyogre, the Avalugg, the Melmetal, and the Latios. Like I actually do like Latios here. I think it has great play against everything that isn't Kiss. Then you have Kyogre, which is a super safe swap. You can pull out the Raikou, get farm, Psychic, the Togekiss, and then the Avalugg or the Melmetal could be really good to close in the end game.
You know what I was thinking? A Melmetal Latios core is really safe and also really RPS, so you could run those two if you're confident that Kyogre can get switch and get you matched up on the Pokemon you want to be on. I could definitely see. I don't want to get into it too much, but I could definitely see like a Kyogre Melmetal Latios core where Kyogre is a way to ensure that you get switch no matter what you lead into.
Yeah, for sure. With Kyogre able to even two shield Raikou, it's just
Exactly.
the stat product, the waterfall damage, is just immense.
Yep.
But yeah, ready to get into the first battle?
Let's do it.
Whenever you guys are. All right, we got the Latios lead into the Garchomp. Favorable for Latios in the ones, but Garchomp can certainly debuff.
Absolutely. I'm really curious to see which one of them decides to commit the first shield here.
Garchomp can live this Dragon Claw.
Yes.
So if you want to soft lose this lead and then farm down, that could be a good play for Anthrax. Elects not to do so, though.
Yeah, and you kind of just need to Sand Tomb your way through this, but he's gonna just farm. Oh, never mind. Switch out. I like that play because you're storing a lot of energy on the Garchomp. You can just tank this no problem here.
Yep, go for the lock on down. Okay, Oscar's going to choose to let himself get switch locked, but he has the Latios to save for a sack swap later.
Yep, and this is so fine for Kyogre. It can comfortably tank any move. I don't even know if you want to shield this, to be honest.
I don't think I would commit a shield to this. You got to make him show he has Thunder. He doesn't. So now you get to farm up even more. It's a little annoying. Regice does outpace Earthquakes to Surf, so yep, he's gonna elect to not double up and throw right before he gets to the next Earthquake.
Yep.
And the Garchomp is pretty much in Surf range at this point.
Honestly, the Garchomp might be closer to farm range if you wanted to call a Sand Tomb.
Right.
You have so much energy, though. I do think it's the Sand Tomb, but I think the shield is the right call here. Ooh, Earth Power.
He does go for the nuke. He's probably running Sand Tomb Earth Power at this point.
Yeah,
I would say. So you can put a lot of pressure. If he doesn't shield this, he's just gonna get like Ice Fang down at this point.
Yep. And this Kyogre is he's gonna switch into the Avalugg. I think that makes sense. You can probably just let it go here, though. Kyogre can do a lot of the heavy lifting from this point.
Yeah, for sure. I highly doubt he's running Focus Blast. I mean, he didn't even charge up to it anyway, so you for sure let this go.
Yeah. You probably let the next one go, too. Or, yeah. I'm surprised he didn't throw there, but I don't think he... Oh, he's gonna shield anyway.
He's gonna shield. Doesn't have to shield this, but he's gonna elect to shield anyway. I mean, it wouldn't matter. The Mewtwo would definitely shield it for sure. And at this point, you're just gonna look to power through with fast move damage.
Yep. This is gonna do quite a bit, and yeah.
Put a body slam. It doesn't really matter. The Mewtwo just can't make it through all these mons at this point.
Right, exactly.
And the Garchomp's just gonna go down. Yeah.
Really well played there. That Kyogre, man, it is a problem.
Huge problem for Anthrax. He's got to be very. He's gonna need to make sure to control it, and that might even mean having to switch out of like the Dragon Lead with Garchomp, just so that you can have some strong fast move pressure for the Kyogre in the back. Because other than that, you know, you have Volt Switch, Charm, and Dragon Tail, and if you don't have one of those things on the Kyogre, you're just gonna get powered through.
Absolutely. We saw Oscar there use a similar core that we mentioned, went with Avalugg instead of Melmetal as the Togekiss counter, which also works. We did not see the Raikou from Anthrax. Do you think we'll see that anymore in Game 2 with how hard it was for him to beat that Kyogre?
Yeah, I think he's going to need to make that adjustment. Raikou as a safe swap does make sense, has the Shadow Ball for the Latios. If you're going with the Volt Switch route, you don't get to them as quickly, but like the added damage from Volt Switch, it does mean that you can potentially land the Shadow Ball and Volt Switch down if you're willing to commit the shields. So I totally expect him to make that adjustment at this point.
I agree. Beyond that, I think we can see a lot of the same things. I do think Mewtwo will come back for Anthrax. It is very safe for him. And then maybe, you know, one of the other two with Raikou. But let's see what happens.
For sure.
All right. And we get Kyogre again. No big surprise. Into the Regice. Do you think they're going to play this out the same way they did last time?
I would not stay with Regice if I am Anthrax. What I would probably do is maybe build up, take the Surf, and then switch out.
I like that. I think the best way to beat Kyogre is chip and dip, like hit it with an Earthquake here, and then maybe one Side Strike kills, but it's very awkward.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I don't want to switch out into from a loaded Kyogre, so you're going to want to take like a move first, and then maybe go after that, and then like maybe, you know, try and save an Earthquake, because this next Earthquake won't KO, so there's not like that much point in throwing it. It might be more valuable. This energy might be more valuable in the back. Of course, as we already know, Oscar doesn't have Melmetal, but he doesn't know that. So from his perspective, I think it makes a lot of sense to save.
I agree. And this is a lot of farm that this Kyogre...
Yeah, I do not like that play. I don't like that play. This... And the other thing is now, Oscar has two things that can comfortably beat Garchomp, so he doesn't even need to stay and allow this farm to occur.
Right, very comfortably. There's just not a whole lot that Garchomp can do in the rest of this battle. Garchomp really needed to be on that Kyogre, but when it wasn't, very strong for Oscar.
One thing I will say is that if he wanted to, Garchomp with a Dragon Tail and Earthquake as a swap can actually reach the Earthquake against Sylveon, and it does a lot. You can kill the Sylveon.
That's actually a really good point, but it would need to get so much energy, and it's already fairly low.
This is just game over at this point. Oscar has 2 shields. He has 2 things that can beat the Garchomp. He has a sack swap if he needs it.
Yeah, and as we all know, Charm with 2 shields, you just use one of them, but Charm with shield is so strong. That Sylveon's going to have a good time in the back against half of a Mewtwo and that Garchomp.
For sure. I mean, now you have to shield these body slams. I mean, this is just terrible. If you don't shield, you're just gonna get fast move down. I don't really like that.
I don't love that. No, I don't love that at all, because now the Mewtwo has so much energy, but I think he's hoping to catch a move. Yeah, you can bring the Avalugg back here and eat some of the energy. Mewtwo will still leave with a bunch though.
Just gonna let this go. You have shields down. The Sylveon will for sure reach a charge move against the Garchomp, and there's not much you can do. Side Strike definitely does more than Earth Power, so this is the move you want to shield.
Yep.
and Garchomp can't get 2 moves. You pretty much the only way you could win this game is to have Earthquake at this point.
Or
But he didn't build any energy, so he's not going to reach it. Not even close.
That Mewtwo was a little close to a second Side Strike, but even still, this is still going to be GG's. There was still one turn off from the Earth Power, and obviously this KOs.
I think Oscar lost some style points though by choosing to throw this Psyshock instead of just going for the clean farm down. I mean, you just want to you want to demonstrate that there's no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
So can we take a point off Oscar's score from this? Or,
we can honestly probably
I'll check in with the tournament managers. Yeah.
Oscar is in chat right now. He's saying he was looking for the loose con when he switched it back into the Kyogre, but couldn't find one. It was close.
I like that he gave a sporting chance. Yeah.
Yeah, close to finding the loose con.
All right. Well, how would you adjust for this next one?
We still haven't seen the Raikou, so that would be like my number one play. Obviously, I think Blue Anthrax is aware of just like how it's not phenomenal against that Kyogre, but I still just think you have to just hope for the best. You have Shadow Ball for the Latios, you got Wild Charge for the Kyogre, and you need something because this Kyogre has been too good in Games 1 and Game 2.
Anthrax really doesn't want to bring the Raikou for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe he's afraid of the Latios, but this is a rare scenario where Raikou can literally hit everything on this team for neutral or even super effective. And for some reason, he doesn't want to bring it. I don't know why, but let's see if he can finally make that adjustment in Game 3.
Let's find it in Game 3. Alright, we get Latios is there, and it finds the Garchomp. Game 1 matchup all over again. I'm really curious if they played this any differently or just played the same way they did the first time.
So he doesn't throw the Dragon Claw right away, not allowing the catch after 4 Dragon Tails makes a lot of sense to me. Go for the CMP with the Sand Tomb.
Have we seen Sand Tomb yet?
We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it yet. Yeah. So it could be double nuke.
It could be double nuke. Oh, he didn't make the switch like he did the last time. So he might have to double shield this too. He will have to double shield to win switch here.
A lot of energy. It makes sense to try and preserve it, but now you're down 2 shields against Kyogre,
and Kyogre
with a team that does not have a single water resist.
Yeah, you've got to switch out of here because they have 2 moves, and we do see the Sand Tomb there. We're gonna get a switch out, but the Avalugg can clear that debuff so quickly, and Mewtwo is gonna be asked to do a lot of work here.
This is just terrible. I'm sorry.
Mewtwo can comfortably Mewtwo can comfortably tank 1 Surf and get to another move, obviously, but it's still not going to be enough.
The thing is, I mean, you can just like pretty easily farm up though now, not take any damage from the Mewtwo.
Yeah.
You have to surf before you get to the back, or you have to surf before you get to the back-to-back, because obviously that's 30 turns, that's 3 Psy Strikes for those counting along.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
No, I don't like this at all. I think taking that Psy Strike was not necessary, but you are going to be able to get 2 or 3 surfs off, depending on what comes in here.
I expect the Garchomp could come in to just sort of make you dump. Yeah, okay.
But you still have a whole nother surf for whatever's in the back.
Another surf, and you have the Avalugg with a little bit of energy.
There we go.
It's gonna be the Raikou, finally.
We found the Raikou, and I think this is just not gonna be enough. Because Avalugg can tank anything.
Yeah, really curious play. So aggressively shielding the Latios when you have it in the lead with Garchomp. The Latios is the biggest problem for Raikou.
Right.
So I think you don't need to double shield there. Once you get the Latios kind of low, I think you can deal with it with the rest of the team. So I don't think that was a good double shield.
I agree, actually. I agree 100%. I think once you commit 1 shield, you have to either throw the Sand Tomb or get out of there, because you know you're gonna win the 0. You're gonna lose 0 to 1 as well. So I think you have to just either no shield it completely or just throw your moves.
Yeah, completely agree. So now Oscar has taken this round, but he has a chance to improve his relative standings, because every game does count if you have a close, you have a close heat at the end of the tournament. Every win that you pick up over your opponents, if you have the same number of points, you're going to go to the overall record. So even though he's already won, this last game is still just as important potentially.
Yep.
So he's gonna, I assume he's going to still be keeping the pressure on Anthrax. Is there anything Anthrax can do to try and improve his overall standing in this final game, in your opinion?
I think what you have to do is just run neutral things. Run Pokemon where you don't need switch, and then just you've got to double team the Kyogre. You've got to just like land a move and then like let the first Pokemon go because nothing's going to beat it head on. You need to commit multiple Pokemon to beating this Kyogre, and just trying to do the best you can with energy and with shields, and save your shields for the back.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Okay, well, let's get into the final game and see if Anthrax can prevent the sweep.
Let's do it. All right, we get Avalugg here. Oh, that's not what you want to see in your Anthrax. That's just unfortunate.
Oh, that is horrible.
Now here, what I kind of like is just getting the double side strike off and letting Mewtwo go.
Yeah, I think for sure too. Probably playing for shield advantage is the best thing that he can do at this point. The only problem is there's no chance whatever he has in the back can pull the heavy lifting for Garchomp. I mean, Garchomp has like really nowhere to go at this point.
Yeah.
Arguably, the Avalugg is its best matchup at this point.
Yeah, and this was the same problem we saw in Game 2, where once you get the Kyogre not on the Garchomp has nothing to do.
Yeah.
You do see a shield. I think he's
trying
trying to save
Interesting
the Kyogre.
trying to keep switch when he has two things that easily beat Garchomp. I'm not really sure about this play. I don't know about committing that shield there.
I agree.
I think I would let this go.
Yeah. Oh. Double shield. I don't think you need to shield at all, but I think once you shield once, you just might as well get switch.
Yep. I don't really like that shield. It makes sense to tank this on the Garchomp, probably. Gonna go to the... Yeah, it goes to the Avalugg. Really, there's not too much that can be done here. Even if you can kill this with Raikou, Garchomp is only going to be finding the Sylveon in the back, so...
And Avalanche is obviously the stronger move here, but with your opponent having an extra shield, I might honestly just go straight Body Slam. You're probably getting the shield anyway.
Yeah. I mean, what you really could do is just wait for the first wild chart, like try and CMP on like on the back-to-back. Oh, not wanting to debuff goes for the non-stat move.
I don't hate that. Unfortunately, like it's not gonna be enough, I don't think, because now they get to the second Avalanche, which will kill anyway.
Right. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Even you could body slam there, and even if you get like Volt Switch down, you just force the Raikou to dump into the Kyogre. It really there's really nothing that can be done at this point. You can throw the Surf, you can not throw the Surf, you can just go to the Sylveon. If Oscar shields this, then we should say that he loses, but of course Anthrax decides to just bail from that, not wanting to waste anybody else's time, and I can appreciate that.
I can too. That was probably the play.
It takes a special person to acknowledge when they've lost, and Anthrax, you are certainly very special. I want to thank you for giving us that content that we could display today. I had a great time watching it, of course, and ready to move on to the next round.
Let's do it.
Heartbreaker versus Chris. Of course, I call him Heartbreaker. I know it's heartbroken, but as we all know, it's a very sad story. He had his heart broken a long time ago, but through the power of Pokemon Go and battling, he was able to put the pieces back together and move on. And the kid's been on fire lately, rising through the draft tournament ladder, getting up to chance. He's now a heartbreaker, no longer heartbroken.
He might be a heartbreaker, but let me tell you, he might get heartbroken by that Mew in this matchup. It's really safe here. And I know it doesn't have the stat product it does in other leagues, but I still like Mew a lot here for Crispy.
Okay, so you're leaning towards Chris.
Soft lean, but I do think the team comp favors him just a little bit.
What do you think Heartbreaker has going for him against Chris?
Groudon is just really safe. Obviously, it's the Kyogre situation all over again, where it's so bulky. Even if you land a super effective move or two, it can just bulk its way through a lot of these matchups.
Like Mudshot or Dragon Tail for Groudon?
In this matchup, I think Dragon Tail for that Lugia.
Do more damage to the Lugia. Okay.
Yeah, it's not phenomenal either way, but a Mudshot is just so toothless against Lugia. I think you need Dragon Tail here.
One thing that I'm seeing is that if you want to have a better Rhyperior matchup, you pretty much have to go Mudshot, just because
That's
like
fair.
the Dragon Tail, it's a little clunky. Rhyperior with Mud Slap Surf puts a lot of pressure on the Groudon and can win that matchup. And looking at it right now, Rhyperior is going to be one of Chris's biggest assets. Mud Slap obviously can clean up Zekrom. With the Surf, you can take out the Groudon. You do need 2 shields for Metagross, which is a little unfortunate. You can't just straight one shield Mud Slap it down. And then you can hit pretty much everything else hard. Mud Slap hits Empoleon hard. Of course, you are taking double super effective Waterfalls back, but Empoleon is squishy. Rock Wrecker, clean kill on Walrein. And then the Como O doesn't really have the best stat product, even though it is a pseudo legendary, so Mud Slap can certainly do a lot there as well. I would say that probably Heartbreaker's best chance is to try and bait out the Lugia and get a farm with Metagross. And then Metagross with energy is looking pretty dangerous against Chris.
I actually agree. Metagross is going to be key for Heartbreaker over here.
Alright, well, it looks like we are eager to get into this, so let's just start. They want to shut us up,
Let's
get these
go.
battles going.
Como O into Surfetch. Neither one of these have a phenomenal stat product.
No, but Como's certainly better.
Yes, for sure.
Most gotta watch out for that close combat, but these Dragon Claws will do an immense amount of damage to this bird.
The list of things with a worse stat product than Surfetch is very small.
Yeah. Okay, correctly shields the nuke. Gonna go into Mew. Yep. I think you probably... Actually, maybe you do want to throw these moves here. There's almost certainly a Lugia in the back, so the value of this energy is probably best spent right now, actually.
I actually agree 100%. And I like the idea of staying in here, because you don't have anything phenomenal against Mew, so it's another one of those cases where you gotta, chip it and beat it with whatever you can. Obviously, Mew's not amazing stat product-wise, so just these Dragon Claws are gonna add up.
And at this point, there's a lot of moves that Mew could hit this Empoleon with, one of which is Wild Charge. Wild Charge would give you the Empoleon and the Walrein, and it is the Wild Charge. Doesn't quite KO. He's got the back-to-back, though. If you want to keep the switch, which I don't think you need to, because I think you can handle the Surfetch for sure with both Mons.
He throws both Wild Charges, makes sense, and I think you come back in here with the Como just to get a little bit of extra energy.
I think you get to go Zek, actually, and the reason why I think you're going to go Zek is because if there is the Lugia, you want to have the option to Wild Charge and bail.
That's a good point, actually. That's a very good point. And I do think that it is going to be the Lugia in the back, yep. And there we see the Lugia. Lugia looks just reliably good in this matchup, especially up a shield.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult, and you pretty much have to now shield Sky Attacks or you're going to get Dragon Tail down. The Como can't really do too much for it. Chris could even call the bait here with the Crunch if he wanted to. I mean, Wild Charge won't KO. As we know, this guy's not going to bait. Maybe Chris will be tempted. Pretty much the only win con I can think of is if he lets this go. He doesn't. He's going to go Como. This is a clean farm.
Yeah. There's nothing.
No shield.
Here. Nothing you can do to Lugia. It's just disrespectfully bulky, and taking neutral moves, it has no problem with that whatsoever.
This first round very much looking like it's going to go to Chris. I just can't see how Heartbreaker can pull this out. This is going to be a heartbreaking first game to this set.
Yeah, the Double Psychic Lugia Mew combo is very strong, especially with no Metagross there to check that Lugia. This is a very very good team for Lugia to switch into.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's nothing you can do here. You're going to just be mercilessly double Sky Attack, Dragon Tail down. Even if you could kill this at this point, Surfetch is more than capable of countering down Zek.
Yeah, it's got plenty of help in the back. So we saw an ABA double Dragon team there, which is interesting. I do like the line. It's so against Lugia. Like I think Metagross or Walrein is gonna need to come here to give yourself a little bit more of a shot against that Lugia.
Yeah, for sure. I think Metagross is probably going to need to come out. You need something a little bit more solid. Something with more stats, more offensive pressure against the Lugia, and can take those moves a little bit better. We have seen only one charge move from the Mew so far, so we know we have Wild Charge. There's some danger now to bring the Walrein and the Empoleon, especially since Chris is willing to bring an anti-steel, anti-ice with the Surfetched. which honestly doesn't have terrible matchups across the board. The close combat will do a lot to Zekrom, can have Leaf Blade for the Groudon, and the Wall Rain, and of course, like the counters do chunk everything else. So it's a bit dangerous.
What is your best guess for the next second move on Mew? I'm thinking Surf for the Groudon, but I could see a couple different options here.
I think you have to, so I think you go Ice Beam for the Groudon because
Oh, that
obviously
makes that
gives
makes
you the
sense.
Zekrom too. You definitely don't want to be walled by the Zek because Zekrom with energy is just like fatal
Yeah,
against
no,
Chris.
Ice Beam. I think you're right. Actually, Ice Beam's probably the play, especially because this is Master League, so like Surfs are already pretty weak. Groudon doesn't really care about Surfs.
Yeah,
So
definitely Ice Beam Wild Charge makes a lot of sense. That basically gives you neutral or super effective against like the whole team.
yeah. Also, Ice Beam makes sense because it's more energy than the Wild Charge. I feel like if he had Surf, he would have thrown it the second
Yeah,
time
yeah.
against the Empoleon.
Or maybe not, just to not reveal it. That would
Oh
make
yeah,
sense
yeah,
too.
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
All right, we'll see how they adjust in game 2.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, we do see the Groudon into the Rhyperior. So let's see what moveset this Groudon has. It'll be key.
He's
It
going with the
is
Dragon Tail for the better
Yep.
Lugia matchup. Makes sense.
Yep. This is a pretty interesting matchup. We just mentioned how Groudons don't really care all that much about Surf.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I mean, Surf from Rhyperior will hurt. You can
It will.
definitely take this. The only problem I have now is, like, for sure you need the Groudon to, like, get rid of this thing comfortably. But you need to be careful. It's pretty easy to count these moves, and he does go for the catch.
Huge play there, not throwing that Earthquake, and this is where you want the Metagross. So he's already doing a much better job handling this Lugia than in Game 1.
Yeah, I agree, and definitely saving that energy is going to be key. That actually might win the game for him. At this point in time, you can take an Aeroblast. It does hurt, but I think you need to save your last shield, especially if there is a Mew in the back.
Absolutely. And there's nothing in the back other than this Lugia that loves taking Earthquakes at all. So the Groudon's energy will be put to very good use in the back.
For sure. It might even be better to lose this and get some farm because, like, the Rhyperior is going to farm this down now.
Absolutely. I actually agree with you. I think maybe you undercharge this, like hit a nice, because you don't want it to be like too healthy, the Lugia, but I think killing it might not have been the right play.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna come with me. Okay, that does make sense. But
Oh,
now, all right. So
it.
the Metagross getting to this move is not ideal though.
No, that's huge for the Metagross. I didn't think he'd get there. Obviously, he's got literally 1 HP left, and that's a problem.
This is gonna be bad for Chris. It's a tough call. If you come in with the Rhyperior, you definitely don't have to shield.
Yeah, obviously you're taking the super effective fast moves, but still, I think that would have been the right play.
Now, there's nothing that this Mew can throw with the energy it has that can one-shot this thing. I mean, Blizzard would be the closest, but still not a clean one-shot. So,
Yep.
okay, didn't have to shield that, but he's going to elect to.
Ooh, another switch, trying to catch again, and just really good timing there from Heartbroken Kid to not those moves.
I don't like that bait, though. I do not like that bait.
Yeah,
Chris correctly calls it.
I don't think you're ever going to shield this Rhyperior, so I agree. I don't really love just fire punching it.
Gonna be able to Dragon Tail down though if well if he tried to farm down with the Rhyperior, so it does have to throw.
Yeah, now you just drag him back down, but
The only problem is these Mud Slaps will put you into Ice Beam
yeah,
range.
now
You can live a crunch. Oh no, actually not the self range you can't. So if he can double up here, then this is gonna be game over for Chris. You might even consider baiting with Wild Charge at this point. He doesn't go for the bait.
I don't think he gets the 2.
Barely, no, he's gonna barely survive it. He's not gonna get sniped by the 2-turn Shadow Claw. So Heartbreaker making the right call to no shield to potentially avoid the bait, and he's gonna have the back-to-back.
There you go. Yeah.
Well played.
That was really well played. And again, the margins on that battle. 2 Pokemon with literally 1 HP. The Metagross and then the Zekrom surviving with the tiniest of health.
Basically, I mean, IVs may have made the difference for that game. I don't know what Chris's Muse IVs are, but certainly they're not the best. Possibly he missed the breakpoint. I can't be sure. But I have to say, it looks like Heartbreaker really broke Chris's heart with that game, and now they're back in it, tied up at 1-1. What adjustments do you think Chris needs to make to come out ahead in the next one?
I think using the Lugia as a safe swap isn't the play, because I think you want to try as hard as you can to get that on the Groudon. And saving it for the back, I think, is a stronger option. But beyond that, I don't think we're going to see too much of a difference. I think Mew's going to come reliably like it has been.
Mhm.
I do like Rhyperior. I do like Rhyperior, Mew, Lugia. I think you just do the order differently, and you'll have a better shot.
So would you rather see the Mew as a safe switch then?
I would, yes.
Okay.
If I'm Chris, I'm consistently CC swapping Mew, because the thing is, man, you don't need Lugia to have switch, right? So if you can safe swap the Mew, throw double wild charge, get a shield advantage like he did in game one, the Lugia up a shield, no matter what it gets on, is really strong.
It makes sense. Okay, let's see if Chris can make this adjustment in this next game.
Let's do it.
It's like a neutral lead.
Yeah, it's not great. Lugia could just tank whatever it wants to throw.
You do need to be careful throwing right on the move because you could catch this on Rhyperior. Okay, he's going to go a little bit over. That makes a lot of sense. Don't go right on the 15. That's 5 Dragon Tails for Lugia. Easy catch. Gonna go for the nuke right off the bat and bail. I like this play.
Yep,
Has the double steal backline pretty good. I don't know if I like going into Metagross. It is the better Lugia counter. Probably better to have gone to Empoleon.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you just let this go. Also, we do watch chat. At least I do. Hopefully, everyone in chat is having a good time. Good shield there. And what do you do here? Do you just go straight?
I mean, I guess you just go for the earthquake. I mean, it looks like he's running the fire. He's got the fire tech on the Genesect. Just gonna clean kill the Metagross. He decides to let it go. That's huge.
That's amazing for the Metagross.
You have a healthy Metagross now and switch advantage.
And with that Lugia, that's key.
Yeah, with probably the best Metagross counter out of the way now.
Yep. Mew comes in here. That's reasonable. The Metagross is almost in Wild Charge range after the Shadow Claws.
I think you can. I think you can let this go. The Wild Charge definitely does under half.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. It just puts you in farm range. But I agree. I'm gonna let that go as well. I just gotten off the Meteor Mash. He likes the shield though, and it will get the shield back on this Mew, I imagine. No,
he's gonna sack it. He's gonna put it all on Lugia. It makes some sense, but at this point, it's Lugia. It's tanky, but it's now a 1v3. I'm not so confident on Chris's odds. This Sky Attack certainly isn't gonna KO. He's gonna use all of his energy for the Aero Blast to get rid of it, but now he's dry and he's got 2 Pokemon to fight.
Yeah, and Lugia is phenomenal, but Lugia against the world here, I don't know if it's going to work out. The Empoleon can comfortably tank any move. Double Hydro Cannon will then put it into Dragon Breath downrange. And this is a tough spot.
And I like not throwing the Blizzard because that Blizzard might be key for a later game, and you certainly don't need to reveal it now.
Yep, 100%.
This Lugia can't one-shot this Empoleon. And at this point in time, there's really nothing that you can do. Sky Attack won't KO if you can even get to it by the time you have this move here. And yeah, Zekrom's just going to close this out for Heartbreaker. He's going to go up 2-1 here. Chris, of course, has a chance to tie in the last game, but really solid performance from Heartbreaker. Good job negotiating the Lugia, which is definitely the toughest thing for his team to face.
Exactly. Really good play for Heartbreaker. And chat is making a good point. I think shielding that Mew is a win con for Chris. Especially because Mew could typically tank a Meteor Mash, but not obviously debuffed. I think saving the Mew for the back to give Lugia some help would have been better. Obviously, you'd rather have a 2/3 health Mew than the one shield that you really need to do a whole lot with anyway.
I also agree. Like, spending the shield on the Mew makes sense because Lugia is your extra shield in the end game. So keeping 2 Pokemon alive would give you more flexibility, and Lugia just wasn't able to 1v3.
Yeah.
That's just too much heat to handle, even with the shield advantage. So,
in fairness, one more thing. In fairness to Chris, when he already saw the Metagross, he might have thought his Lugia was safer in the back, not expecting double Lugia counters. Like if there was a dragon in the back, like the Como, Lugia with a shield probably could have 1v3'd. Obviously, though, with a second Lugia counter, you really needed that Mew a lot more than the shield.
I think you had to guess that there was a second Lugia counter. He went right for the Metagross into the Lugia, so I think you had to expect either Empoleon or Walrein in the back. to sort of deal with it, because otherwise just throwing out your hard counter right off the bat doesn't really make sense. I mean, I know you have to bail because you went for the wild charge. He could have went for the crunch, gotten the shield, stayed in. With the debuff, you can apply a little bit more pressure, or, forced out the Lugia with, the Empoleon switch once it's now at -1. But in any case, let's just see if Chris can tie it up. We're going to move into the last game.
Let's do it. All right. So we're going to get Empoleon lead here into the Surf Edge. Amazing lead here for Chris. And you're going to probably see the switch right away.
You have to switch out right away. Chris has the option to close combat and bail, which that's what I'm going to expect. You get to the close combat before Zekrom gets to a move.
I don't love that though, because the Dragon Breaths do so much damage. This Surf Edge is already at half health. I do like getting the shield, but the Zekrom will be able to get to it in 2 moves before it dies here.
You do, but Mew could clean out the back line potentially. You definitely don't have to shield this.
No, I would not shield Lugia at all. I think the back Pokemon are going to need shields quite a bit more. Oh, never mind. We do get a shield.
He's gonna go for the shield. He's gonna throw the move now. If Heartbreaker really wants to get this wild charge off, he might consider shielding, but I actually think he might barely live this and get this wild charge off still. Yeah.
Yep. Very good call there. Obviously, resisted sky attacks are not going to do a bunch, and that was really good energy management by
Huge play for him, because if you go right for the double wild charge, the Dragon Tail through will kill you.
Yep.
Now I'm going to expect him to farm down. The question is, where do you think the energy is more valuable? Might be better to farm down with Metagross, just because you have the harder hitting Meteor Mash.
I agree, but this Empoleon will still be able to do quite a bit of work here. And with that Surf Edge already at half health, the shield pressure will be tremendous, even without Drill Peck.
So he's going to go into Mew. Makes sense, because now you can take the charge move better. Doesn't want to use up his last shield here.
At this point, I think you let Empoleon go. Its main job was at Lugia. Obviously, it doesn't really want to see the Surf Edge in the back anyway. I think you just put your shields on Metagross here. He's
going to farm up. This is now looking a little bit dangerous for Chris. I think the overfarm was not the right call, because now he has no shields left in the back for the Metagross. You're certainly going to let this go. The wild charge doesn't do enough to Metagross. You don't need to shield it, and the Surf Edge will not be able to counter down.
You absolutely needed to save your shield for the Surf Edge. It's in one wild charge, one Meteor Mash range. And you can just let this go. And
yeah, for sure you let this go.
The counters, yeah.
Absolutely. Heartbreaker making the correct call there. Easily tanks the wild charge. Chris is going to get farmed down, and at this point in time, it's just... Oof.
Unless you catch a Meteor Mash, but I don't think the switch clock's up yet, and I don't know if he can do that.
This bird in the back is about to be more mashed than potatoes at Thanksgiving. This thing is going to go... Good shield discipline. It's great discipline. Doesn't need to throw right away. Ooh, and the earthquake
goes for the earthquake.
I love it. I love it.
The BM, you gotta do it, man. When you can BM like this, you gotta do it.
Oh, you gotta make this. You're earthquaking Chris back to comps with this play. Amazing. Yeah, Good job, Heartbreaker. You get my seal of approval for that game, which I don't give out lightly, by the way.
All right, so here's the thing. Can we take that point we took away from Oscar earlier and give it to Chris, give it to Heartbreaker?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think Heartbreaker should be getting like 3 points from that win. I think Oscar should probably get 0 points from his win over Blue Anthrax. It wasn't done with proper style. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna look at the next matchup: Flume versus Kelsey K. This should be pretty interesting. This is both. This might actually be their first time appearance each in champs. I'm not sure about Flume, but for Kelsey, I know it is. She only just started drafting recently, but you guys might know her from the leaderboards. She's a perennial GBL tryhard.
I love her team, by the way. It's so flexible. I'm a big fan of Suicune in Master League, to be honest. I know a lot of people aren't, but I think her team just screams flexibility, which I always love when I'm team building for this league.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of power, has a lot of stats, has good flexibility. I think it's a very strong team. Who do you favor in this matchup?
I think I favor Kelsey. I don't know. I think the Snorlax and the Altered Tina are very, very strong. Flume definitely has some play. Like that T-Tar could make some room. We all know how good Armored Mewtwo can be. But I think overall, the Tina Snorlax core is going to be really tough for Flume to deal with.
For sure. So from my perspective, I think Kelsey has the favorable matchup. That's not to say that Flume doesn't have some counterplay. Dragon Breath Altered looks just extremely oppressive here. It's an amazing safe swap. There's really nothing that can stand up to it. You could even run Ancient Power because you don't need Shadow Sneak to be armored. That gives you a dominant Ho-Oh matchup as well, and you can breath through everything, even SmackDown Tyranitar. On the other side, I think the T-Tar does have a lot of potential. Need to be careful of the Primarina and the Escavalier primarily, because everything else you can deal with, or you have good fast move pressure against. That's going to be Snorlax and Suicune. If I'm Flume, what I'd really like to see is him try to bait out maybe like the Charmer in Primarina. But you could also go Waterfall here. I'll make a note on that in a second. But if you could bait out the Primarina and get some farm with Ho-Oh, the energy, obviously, Ho's energy is always very valuable and can put a lot of shield pressure on Kelsey. And you can get to charge moves that will allow you to win the zeros against Primarina, especially with an energy lead. So Hurricane from Dragonite and Stone Edge from Tyranitar will do a lot of damage. If you do not run the Shadow Tyranitar, you can definitely reach a Stone Edge with just a little bit of energy lead. So that'll be good on that side. But for Kelsey, I like Double Dragon. I mean, I don't see how you can not bring Rash and Altered every single game, and you have your choice of leads with Primarina or Suicune.
Agreed, 100%. I think Double Dragon will come at least once, probably multiple times. It's very, very dominant. And like you mentioned, someone mentioned in chat as well, I think Waterfall Prima does have some play. Obviously, a very unique typing. Waterfall would help it with the Ho-Oh quite a bit. I'm pretty sure you still beat Dragonite for the most part, or at least do decently well against that. So I like the idea of Waterfall quite a bit, to be honest.
Thing about Waterfall is, DPT wise, you're just barely edging out Dragonite in fast move damage. If
Yeah.
you do go for the Waterfall, the thing is, Dragonite outpaces Hurricane to Moonblast, right? Because Moonblast is still, that's going to be that's 24 turns, right,
Yep.
for the Primarina, and Hurricane for Dragonite is only 22. So you can just go straight Hurricane and win once,
Yep.
easily. That it could be problematic if Dragonite chooses to farm on the Primarina and then switch out to catch the Moonblast um, on something else, and then has all of that health and energy for later, could be problematic. So that would be the one downside of running Waterfall.
Yeah.
And just one other thing I will say is that if you don't have Charm, then Dragonite has. There's not a lot of things that have pressure against Dragonite that aren't also receiving pressure. You don't have that much pressure with Lick on Snorlax. If you don't run Ice Fang on Suicune, then the Snarls are extremely abusable, can farm up a lot. You can even live an Ice Beam, but you can always switch out and save that energy for later. So I like Dragonite on Flume's side, has a lot of play. He's going to have to maneuver it around a little bit to get into favorable positions, but definitely, I think even despite the strength of Kelsey's Double Dragon team, Flume has a lot of play, especially if you can get energy on the Dragonite. But with all that said, I'm ready to get into the first game.
Let's get into it. I'm curious if the team is gonna leave this matchup to try and clear that debuff.
Looks like she's gonna elect to stay in. I mean, you live this next crunch, but the Giratina is amazing against the backline, so it may not be the best to spend it here.
They do shield there. It would have survived it, but would have put it into Snarl down range after the debuff. And it's going to elect to switch out now into the Prima. Oh!
I don't like throwing this move. I think
No,
this
not
is...
at all.
The energy is definitely better saved here. There's
Absolutely.
really not much point to do this. You have the Ho-Oh. You clearly saw the Charm come through.
Yeah.
So you're like one Brave Bird is gonna kill this, like regardless. I mean, now if you really don't want to debuff yourself, you could Earthquake, but either way, you need to farm up here.
Throwing right away. I agree 100%. I don't think that close combat was a good call there. Probably just wanted to see what the fast move was before switching, which I get, but still,
Makes
I think
sense.
you
Makes
should get
sense.
energy. All right, and now we're gonna
Come back in with the Giratina. I expect the ancient powers to start flying.
I
If
agree.
she gets a boost, it's gonna. These breaths are really going to start hurting.
No boost here. I'm gonna go right for the Brave Bird. I like that a lot. There's no point in over farming it. I think it's the 2 moves anyway.
For sure.
And you want to get the Tina just out of here. Oh, shield. Okay.
She's gonna spend her last shield on this and get the farm down. So now you have a bit of a problem. The Zamazenta is good for a sack swap, but not much else. Doesn't have any energy. And the Dragonite, if there is a Reshiram in the back, you kind of have to shield these Dragon Claws down. She's gonna get to 2.
Yep.
Here's the first one. Oh, she's not gonna throw not gonna throw the second one. Going into Suicune. I do not like this play. I think you need to get both shields first before you switch.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I think throwing the second Dragon Claw first and hoping to get the last shield would have been better than switching here. Because this Dragonite now can just comfortably shield this first one, and it's a good spot.
It's going to abuse Snarl very easily to get the full... This won't one-shot, but you're going to be able to farm down afterwards.
And
Suicune won't get 2 Ice Beams.
There's nowhere now for...
The Dragon Claw will not KO.
Nope, not even close. And this Dragonite can just farm all the way down.
Yeah, this is a GG. The only way to win that game was to dump both claws and try and take both shields from the last healthy mon.
Agreed.
And then go to Suicune.
There was no real guarantee that the Dragonite would have shielded twice because it knows it can tank at least 1 claw. But I think going for the second shield was the only win con there.
It was the only way. I mean, if he predicts that it's an ABA Dragon team with Resh, then you have to shield it. 1 Dragon Claw won't clean kill Resh. You'll be at half health already going into the Reshiram. So I think that even if you could kill the Resh, right, the Altered will still have enough health left to just delete the Dragonite, which would probably be at almost no HP at this point. And then it's the fast move damage difference between the Zamazenta, which is still left with Snarl and Dragon Breath, is just that was the right play. And she had to commit to the double claw to try and pry those shields off Flume.
Absolutely. Agree 100%. And I think those are some adjustments you'll see being made as this set gets deeper.
For sure. Any adjustments that you see for Kelsey going into game 2?
She correctly realized how strong that Tina was. I think we see it in almost every battle. Then we saw the Suicune and the Prima, a very good ABB core that I think we could rely on. I do think the Resh could come back in the next one.
For me, I think the problem with that first line, if you're going to run the double water, I don't think you want to use the Altered up on the Zamazenta.
Yeah.
You have a better matchup with the Primarina in the back. If you go to Suicune, this is going to be a problem for him because he was very weak to Altered in the back. Of course, you wouldn't necessarily know that, but use up the Suicune on the Zamazenta, get some farm with either Prima or Altered, farm it down, and now that energy is extremely valuable in the back. So, in any case, I think that she could probably best adjust by going with Double Dragon. I really, like I said before, I really like Resh here. I like Resh and Altered, and you can pair them with either water in the lead, but, we'll see what she decides to do.
Absolutely. Let's get into it and see what adjustments they both make. All right. So we have a Ho-Oh in the lead this time, and it finds the matchup it wants. Obviously, we saw the arm. It's fine both ways, but I think
I think this is okay. You're gonna spend some shields here to put pressure on this Tyranitar. Could be well worth it to get the proper alignment.
Yeah.
You just don't want to go down 2s though. You really want to avoid going down 2s.
Tell me what you think about this though. I think you're supposed to throw the Brave Bird first before you switch there, because the Dragon Breath, I'd rather take them on the Ho-Oh.
Yeah, so if you decide to throw the Brave Bird first, with a little bit of, if there's a slight lag, right, the Altered will get to the Ancient Power with the Ho-Oh.
Yeah,
and if you CMP tie, you're gonna want to shield that Ancient Power while debuffed. It does have a pretty good answer to this Altered with the Tyranitar, but now it's a bit of a problem because if you want to keep that alignment, you're going to be forced to shield here.
You need alignment too, because it's pretty RPS in the back. Oh, we get a switch.
Oh, she's gonna go for the snipe, which I do like this play. If you have Resh in the back, 2-shield Resh could potentially clean up this team.
Yeah, I don't hate that either, honestly, because you know you're gonna lose switch anyway. You have a shield advantage, and Ho can't like comfortably like it beats this pretty reliably, but it's kind of awkward
Yeah.
because you either have to like call the right move or debuff yourself. I don't hate
Actually,
this very
I'm
much.
not sure that I would shield this.
I wouldn't. Nope, I wouldn't at all. Oh, we do get the shield.
Okay,
I guess.
she's gonna go for the shield. The problem is you get outpaced here, so I'm not sure about the value of this. He did go for the Earthquake, so now you don't have to fear the Psychic not having debuffed. She goes for the Moonblast. That makes me think that she has probably Moonblast and Hydro Pump.
Yeah, that
Which
was
makes
a
sense.
risky bait. It makes sense for sure. That was a risky bait. I wouldn't have shielded if I were the Ho, so that Moonblast was risky. But definitely now has Hydro Pump in the back as the other move.
Yeah. You have shields down. I mean, Resh with a nice tasty farm here. Oh, there's no Resh. No Resh. You gotta catch this move. You gotta catch this move. Save the last shield. Doesn't catch.
This is so fine. Flume's in a great spot here. Dragonite just does more damage. And with the Incinerate chunk, this is a real good spot for Dragonite to be
Yeah,
in.
you pretty much had to catch that. Easy to time too on the Incinerate. Need
Yeah.
to sack the Altered. If she has Outrage here, she could still potentially be okay, though it doesn't one-shot the Dragonite. Dragonite's, of course, just going to go for the nuke.
No Outrage, and
She has you still have a chance to catch this charge move, but catching the Brave Bird is just way simpler.
it's so much easier. It's ridiculously hard to count Dragon Breaths, obviously. It's so much easier to count Incinerates. And I don't think, does that Alter have a move? I don't think it does.
not have a move.
Yeah, I don't think it does, yeah. And I don't think you can farm down here. At least not reliably. But let's see.
I think this is game over at this point. There's just too much damage from the Dragonite, not enough health left in the tank. So that game was still winnable, although having the Reshiram double dragon would have been definitely the easiest way to win that game. Even still, with the Snorlax, if she catches the Brave Bird, has the shield left, the Ho is out of energy. It's a very clean win for her. But it's just unfortunate. It's just hard to know at that point. But you know how much he built up, so he's just going to be 2 away from that last Brave Bird there. But it's just a difficult call to make in the moment.
For sure. And I don't know about you, but I don't love the Prima snipe because like you were going to lose switch anyway. You knew like Prima could tank a crunch if the Tito even got there. And locking yourself in that matchup, I think, is a little more awkward late game. But it was an uphill battle.
I thought maybe locking yourself in would have been maybe okay if you had Resh double resisting the Incinerates, of course, and then having tremendous pressure against the Dragonite, to the extent that if you can breath the Dragonite down, the Ho isn't going to be able to fast move you down.
Exactly.
And with the combined pressure of Dragon Breath and even the charms, like they still hurt over time, that might have been enough to deal with the Ho. So that was just I think maybe not her strongest team comp.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. And it's just it's so awkward when you get the Charmer obviously locked into the Ho. Did her best to work out of it, but it might be a different team comp kind of time for game 3.
Yeah, for sure. I expect the Rush to come out now. I really wouldn't be that afraid of the Tyranitar. I mean, just the dual breathers is just so much pressure. But yeah, let's see if she makes the adjustment.
And I think Tina is such a good safe swap here. It's so reliably safe.
Ho lead again into Primarina again. Let's see if we have the if she has the double dragon now, this is just going to be absolutely done.
I think she does.
And see, here's the thing. Now that you're going late into the Dragonite, you get outpaced.
To every move,
forcing you to make first shielding decision, and you don't have to shield the Claw. If he wants to win this, shields down. If she gets greedy on the farming, you're gonna have to Hurricane.
Yep. And I think the Tina reliably just no shields this because you know you outpace, you know you can't get farmed down.
Yeah, for sure. Now you just go for the breath down.
Yep. And you'll get to a ancient power against that Ho.
Choosing to throw. Why just go for the farm down? It can't get 2 claws.
The thing is, I don't think the Ho can farm down either unless it wants to tank a ancient power. It'll be close, but it's not the end of the world.
You know the moveset. I think you confusion down. I think you
Oh.
can fusion down with Mewtwo here so that you don't have to expend a shield. It's nice to get this farm, but I really don't want to. I don't want to see the Ho take this ancient power. Especially, you don't want to incentivize Giratina to throw ancient power if you can avoid it, because the boost will put a lot of pressure on you, even at this HP range.
Absolutely. And you see there, the Kelsey managed to win back switch and shield advantage.
Yep, and gets to another move.
I think this
You
is
can live
claw.
this. You can live this. You can if this is ancient power, you can let
I
this
think
go.
it's the claw. Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, you can let that go.
It was too
You
fast.
don't have to worry about it. But now he's down 2 shields loaded.
And switch down 2 shields and switch. That was a phenomenal job by that Albertina to get 2 shields
Yeah.
and switch advantage in that matchup.
Oh, this is just going to be game over now. I mean, you can just comfortably shield this. If she doesn't know that he doesn't have a Tyranitar in the back, but it doesn't really matter either way, because the Primarina would be able to clean it up if he did, and he doesn't. He has the Mewtwo, and the Rush is totally fine against this Armored, even if he has Rock Slide, which he does.
Yeah, this is not a problem at all. And you can just see the Dragon Breaths are so impressive.
Yeah.
This is not your Ultra League Armor Mewtwo. These are gonna hurt, and I don't think Draco.
Oh,
man!
Draco, ending that Mewtwo's career.
Pain.
Gonna outpace
Nothing
to
but
this
pain.
crunch here. Not gonna get this Brave Bird off. Oh,
And
goes for the catch.
stack!
Goes for the catch.
That just style points all around in this matchup, and it's gonna be a pretty dominant win here for
LCK coming back in a really big way.
I feel like this win should count as 2. That
was a great win, and of course making the adjustment, the double dragon. Just people, use your dragons. They have bigger stats than everything else, and Dragon Breath is unresisted here. Just bully everything with Dragon Breath. Please,
yeah,
Kelsey.
what does Flume have to beat Dragon? Not a whole lot. Like,
nothing. His team is so weak to dragons. I mean, I wouldn't consider anything that he has to be a reliable dragon counter. The Mamoswine certainly can't hang with any of them in shield scenarios.
I think Kelsey's now realized just how good that double dragon was, and it's going to be a feature in the last game.
Oh yeah, it has to be. I mean, you could go ABA double dragon. You can have your Primarina lead double dragon. It doesn't matter. Just use the dragons. Snorlax double dragon. It works. Dragons.
Everything
they work in
dragon.
every flavor. They pair with everything. It's
like
mayonnaise. You can put it on any team, and it's gonna taste good.
They're just so reliable against Ho-Oh, which has been giving Kelsey problems. Like, it's a great way to just put that Ho-Oh in check. Honestly, if I'm Flume and I just saw Double Dragon beat me that badly, I'm not bringing Ho-Oh. I know you kind of need it for the Prima, but I don't know. I'm not gonna bring it.
It's difficult. So the Armored could be a good neutralish matchup for him against the field, because I mean, is she really gonna bring a Scavalier?
All right, I take that back actually. I take that back. I'm looking at the rest of Flume's team. It's just Prima's too safe. So you have to bring Ho-Oh. But you have to just make sure you save it for that Prima, because it's just so bad against the dragons. I think Switch is going to be really important here, to be honest.
For sure. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's see if she can make the adjustment to Tyler.
Let's do it. T-Tar into Suicune.
T-Tar into Suicune is not a bad matchup for the Tyranitar. They're not doing any damage.
Especially with Snarl. Ice Fang's a little bit different, but yeah, with Snarl.
Yeah, you can live a Hydro Pump. You have a lot of control over this matchup.
Yep. You can live the Hydro pretty comfortably. And like you said, the Snarls are healing the T-Tar, so it's not really a situation where you get farmed down afterwards. Yeah.
Plenty of health. What she could do now is, like, honestly, don't stay in this. Switch out and just kill the Tyranitar.
Yep, I like that a lot.
This is going to do a lot of damage. She's going to switch. Okay. Yeah, okay. That pressures the Tyranitar out. And again, the Dragonite is now coming into the Altered behind on energy, which I really like for her.
Yeah, we saw that. It didn't work out well for Dragonite last time. Let's see if it may make the adjustment and shield here. Nope, no shield.
The primary strength of Dragonite in this matchup is winning CMP, and it can't do that when it's being outpaced.
Yeah, and you can't really like catch up on energy either. A lot of times you can like sneak in moves that they throw first, but with Dragon Breath you're not gonna be able to do that. So you're gonna be reliably one Dragon Breath behind for the rest of this battle.
Yeah, this is a big problem. She can go for the full farm down. Now please don't throw this, Kelsey.
The thing is,
Kelsey, farm.
You know you're generating moves at the same time, so it's really easy to know when the Dragonite's at the next move because it'll get their turns after you do. So I definitely agree with you. I think the farm there is safe. and reliable.
Oh, it's for sure safe. Kelsey, she's from the Midwest, but she's showing that she still doesn't have those agricultural roots that you would expect. Not so hesitant to commit to the farm. This Ho-Oh's in trouble now. It's got a lot. There's a lot of shield pressure that's going to be applied by these ancient powers. Could even bait the claw. Gets the claw
Ooh.
bait. That's very annoying.
That's nice. And do you shield here? Because you know that this is Braybird.
You could shield, but you know the Tyranitar has no health. If you have Resh in the back, I would just not shield.
Yep.
Now you have there's no fast move pressure. You're gonna delete this Tyranitar. This is now over because with that little bit of breath lead, you're just going to you can just double crunch this thing. You outpace to 15 turns on both sides to the charge move. Gonna have to shield this or you're gonna get breath down. And she still has a Pokemon left that she can catch on.
Yep. And like the Ho-Oh can't double up. So you have an entire 5-turn Incinerate after the first move before the second one, regardless of whether they go to 100 or not. So it's really safe to just shield the first move. You'll know you get to a crunch here.
Oh, this is for sure over. You're gonna get crunched again. There's really nothing you could do if you go for the Brave Bird to save energy, you just get breath down anyway.
Yep.
Really well
Very
played.
well played. Very well played.
Good job tying that back up.
Yeah.
But she could have realized a little sooner the strength. Put your faith in your dragons. Bring the Reshiram.
Just about to say, those last 2 wins were so dominant, I'm assuming Kelsey's regretting not coming up with Double Dragon in Game 1 instead of Game 3. But honestly, you go down, 0-2 and dominantly take Games 3 and Games 4. Sometimes it does take that long to find a strat that works.
It's a great comeback.
Yeah, very strong.
At the end of the day, you guys all, we have to remember, we're all learning here, okay?
Yeah.
There's always something that we can take from every game. So even though she decidedly made the wrong team composition choices in games 1 and 2, we shouldn't judge her for that, okay? Shouldn't judge her for that. We're all learning. It's just part of the process.
Also, I will say it's a lot easier for us to be sitting here, seat driving when we're not in the moment. It's a lot more difficult to make those calls in the moment mid-game.
I love to just lean back into my armchair and just make my critiques from the
It's so easy when we're not pressing the buttons to just make the right calls from back here.
This is but I've always dreamt of doing this.
Where it's a lot more stressful in the moment. Very well played there by both players.
All right, let's take a look at the next matchup.
Let's do it.
Looks like we've gone back in time to Chris versus Heartbreaker to relive the psychological trauma of being murdered by Metagross mercilessly every single game. No, okay. We're gonna move on, and we've got Oscar's second matchup for today against Cabana to look at.
Oscar had so much fun in round 1. He's like, you know what? I'm doing another one.
Why not?
Try and stop me.
Okay, so what do you like here? Who do you think has the advantage, and what team compositions do you foresee?
All right, so thankfully, Cabana does not have the problem against Kyogre that we saw in the first Oscar matchup. Got answers to Kyogre all over the place. Between the Rude, Milotic's fine, Axos is fine. So Kyogre is much less dominant in this matchup. I do think we will see the Melmetal show up more reliably than it did in the first matchup. I think Melmetal looks better here. And I also like the Avalugg quite a bit. Obviously, it's not great against Milotic, but overall, I think the play is pretty good, especially against that Zarude, and the Haxorus is fine against that matchup as well.
For sure. This is a bit of a complicated matchup, I think, because I can see problems on both sides. A little bit RPS-y, perhaps. I think the Heatran probably has the Heatran's energy can be broadly useful. Stone Edge does a good chunk to
it has to come
you can farm down. Yeah, you need to check the Charmer. You need to check. It's decent against Latios. Can win that as well. Melmetal, of course, the Flamethrower does a tremendous amount. Can lit a superpower. Hard Wall, the Avalugg. Avalugg could have Earthquake if it's able to farm something, so that could be potentially dangerous. But it's just such a slow pace with Ice Fang's energy generation. I wouldn't really worry about it. It's not even that bad against Machamp, because Machamp's a bit squishy, so like those moves from Heatran do hurt. Heatran looks really good, especially if you can get some farm and some energy on it.
Yeah.
On Oscar's side, Kyogre is a little bit less safe. I wouldn't be particularly concerned with the Milotic. If it's not running Hyper Beam, you just get outstat prodded. So Kyogre can put a lot of pressure on Milotic. It's good against Zacian. Obviously, it's good against the Heatran and the Terrakion. Haxorus is so squishy, it practically doesn't resist water, so if you can get some farm, obviously the Blizzard is really good to threaten the Monkey. The other thing that I would say for Oscar is that Shadow Machamp looks particularly good here. You can give a beat down to the Heatran, to the Terrakion, the Zarude. If you can get sneaks, then you can avoid those pesky CMP ties with a counter hacks.
Yep.
And then Shadow Machamp can 2-shield through Zacian.
Kind of. It's not the best matchup in the world, but I agree.
It can though, because so if you think about the snarls are not doing as much damage as the counters, so you have to go all the way up to play rough, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to debuff, the rock slides hurt, so you can actually beat Zacian in the twos with the Shadow Machamp. It's just a question of, do you want to commit those shields? Maybe not in the lead, but perhaps in the back. 2-shield Machamp in the end game could actually be really potent against this team.
You have to be absolutely right. You can 2-shield through the Zacian. My thing is though, does the Zacian have any reason to stay in that? Like, you get the first shield, tank the first move, and get out. If you're the Zacian.
So if you're not aware of that matchup, Cabana might stay. But for me, I might not even go to player up. I might just like throw my nuke and then just switch out and then try and get Zacian in maybe a better matchup where it's taking less fast move damage later, like Latios or like a Melmetal. Get some farm and then throw nukes again at the Machamp if it does come back in.
Yeah, and Rock Slide does, even from the Shadow Champ, it only does 36% to Zacian. But like, you obviously can win the twos of your champ, but if I'm Zacian, I'm not shielding there at all. Just letting all the moves go. Throw whatever you want, whatever move you want to throw at the champ, and then just get out.
It just depends on your team comp if you think you'll need the Zacian later or not. But yeah, it's an option for Oscar, and the Machamp does look pretty solid. Could even be a good safe switch if the plan is to bait out the Zacian to keep it away from something else later.
Yep.
All right, but let's get into it and see what they decide to do.
Let's go. I'm also very curious if we see the Milotic, what moveset it has.
Right,
and this
good
is
lead for Oscar. So he's bringing the Machamp, and it is going to be Shadow, and he's going to go right to Zacian. Now, one thing to note is
look at that!
He has Heavy Slam. Got the Heavy Slam.
That is.
It's not necessary, but I guess it does help.
It does help in this matchup. I lied. Now you might have to shield one of these moves.
Yeah. So now I think he's just going to look to shield and counter down. Honestly, you're not gonna. You might be best off just going for the double debuff nuke at this point. Try and keep your shields.
Yep.
It's gonna go for player off. So this is a little bit unfortunate because now he can throw this cross chop if he wants to preserve both shields, but he's just gonna elect to farm down, it seems.
Yeah, and you will get these shields back because Champ is so dominant with energy. The shield pressure will be pretty heavy.
If you might have Zarude in the back, I think you just go hacks and just tank these moves and hope that your Zarude has good play against the backline.
It's got, which it does. It has reasonably good play, but this is, I think you got to shield once here because I think you want to get a move off. Oh, never mind. Gets to the move first, which is very big here. And now you definitely let it go. You just definitely for sure let this go.
All right, you can come in with Latios to farm up here. He has got counter. Oh, and he's got Heatran in the back and not the Monkey. He was electing for 2 Melmetal counters in the back as well as having a Melmetal counter up front. I don't know if I like this team combination. It is very weak to Kyogre in the back.
Yeah, and Kyogre is so bulky. He doesn't care at all about these moves.
Cabana is about to be very punished for bringing this Heatran.
And those shields are not going to get thrown. Like, I wouldn't throw them. You don't throw moves. Just, I guess you can throw if you want to, but there's no need to throw here.
There's no need to throw here. The Latios isn't in Dragon Claw range. You can if this Haxorus doesn't throw, it's going to be Waterfall down.
Yep.
So it can't even preserve that much energy.
Yep. And I guess throwing here is the safer move, but you're obviously losing a turn each time, and I would just farm down. But regardless, this is a pretty strong win con here either way. Frantically trying to get out.
Yeah, this Haxorus is about to be one breath sniped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. This energy will never see the light of day. That was.
That's a good point, actually. Chris mentioned in chat he was throwing the Surfs just to stall the switch clock. and trying to get into the Latios before Kyogre died, which is a good point. Wasn't able to do it, but it's definitely probably what the play was there.
It didn't. It honestly didn't even really matter.
Yeah.
Haxorus is taking tremendous damage from the waterfalls, and as you all saw at the end of the day, it was just too low health. Even if it could have saved both claws, he'd have to double deny the breath sneak. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was very
There's just
strong.
nothing you could do at that point.
Yeah.
Anything you see for Cabana to adjust here?
I don't know. We mentioned that Heatran needs to come for the Sylveon, but it's just so risky with that Kyogre. I could see a play around just trying to soft check Sylveon, and leaving the Heatran on the bench. But I definitely think the Haxorus comes back and that Dacian comes back, and then we'll see one of that Heatran or the. I mentioned at the beginning of the last battle, I could see a play for either of Milotic's movesets. Dragon Tail's better against Kyogre and much better against Latios, but Waterfall is quite a bit better against the Sylveon and a little bit against the Melmetal. So I can see play either way. And if we do see the Milotic, I'm curious what set he goes with.
Yeah, for sure. One adjustment Cabana could make is go with like an ABA counter team to Kyogre. Maybe have the Haxorus up front. That also gives you a Melmetal counter, and have the Zerud in the back. But either way, he's definitely gonna have to respect the Kyogre. If he's gonna make a team that weak to it again, he's gonna find he's gonna have problems.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the next one.
Let's do it. All right, we see the Kyogre lead again into the. Oh no!
This
is just no.
Massively problematic. Probably Zacian safe switch here, and you really don't need to switch out because you have two other things that can fight the Heatran.
I do think I will switch out eventually. I think you throw a move here, eat a wild charge, and then switch out.
It's a distinct possibility. I mean, either way, if Cabana uses up shields here, Latios doesn't even have wild charge.
No, it does. I think he just didn't want to debuff himself.
He showed this moveset. He showed this moveset earlier with close combat player up, so he doesn't have anything that can even really threaten the Kyogre that much.
Yeah. You do win the zeros here, but the Kyogre can shield if it wants to.
This is the best answer to Machamp. So you can just let this go now and counter down. And if once you're a counter ahead, you can avoid CMP ties with Haxorus.
That is a good point.
And the Latios with breath can pressure the Heatran in the back.
A little bit. I do think the Heatran is going to get on his best matchup on this team, which I think is a win for the Heatran. But you're right, there wasn't really any strong matchup to begin with.
Oh, this is massively problematic now. You can even let this go. You live it, just switch the Latios, and then get ahead for the Heatran, and then just use the superior Dragon Breath pressure to power through the Fire Spinner.
The no shield definitely surprised me a little bit there.
Yeah. Oh, this is bad. You can easily tank a Stone Edge or an Iron Head as Latios. Just go for double Psychic.
Yeah.
Especially with these counters, are putting this Heatran in a position where it's just going to get breath down for eating a nuke from Latios.
This is gonna be a problem.
This is already game over.
Heatran can't get the two moves here. It does outpace a little bit, but not enough.
Yeah, it's a quick 19 breaths for the Psychic. It's not a problem. Heatran is very under optimized. Has to go 18 turns for the first Stone Edge, 15 for the second. This Psychic is just gonna make it very easy to fast move down.
Like 3 Dragon Breaths after this Psychic will KO, and you still have a shield, and this is GG's. Really well played there. The thing was, it does KO actually. The thing was, there was no answer for the Heatran had nowhere to go. So no matter what, it was so flexible for Oscar to just not care about switch or shield because he knew that all 3 Pokemon could beat that Heatran.
Cabana is clearly very concerned that with how Heatran, Sylveon is a big problem for him. He has a Snarl user. Haxorus can do nothing to Sylveon unless you're gonna elect her on the Spicy Earthquake or Surf. And then Milotic also with Dragon Tail has trouble dealing with it. So Cabana very much feels like he has to bring Heatran. Oscar's going to take advantage of this fact, knowing that if he doesn't bring Sylveon, he can easily bring 3 things that take care of the Heatran and are equipped to handle the rest of his team. So Cabana is finding himself in a really difficult position to maneuver.
you hit the nail on the head there. I think the Sylveon bench pressure is more than actually it needs to be in the game because there's no reason to bring the Sylveon. Just the fact that it's there means that you can reliably just triple counter the Heatran, exactly like we just saw,
Mm.
and put yourself in a really strong spot.
If you're Cabana, what would you do to adjust? Are you dropping Heatran perhaps and
I think
risking
you
Sylveon plowing through you?
I think you need to make a call. I think you
Mm,
need to make a call that the Sylveon's going to be bench pressure and just not worry too much about it and bring a more flexible team that can handle the Kyogre.
makes
I
sense.
think the Haxorus is going to keep coming. It should. The Zacian's going to keep coming. It should. But I think the third spot needs to be something a little better against Kyogre. I still think Milotic. I still think
So
Dragon Tail Milotic is
Milotic,
good
okay.
here. Yeah, I still
It
think
makes
it's good.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, let's see if Cabana will take these notes and make some adjustments. He
Oh, there's
does.
the
He finally
Sylveon.
brings the Sylveon.
Oh,
This is this is a very neutral matchup. Zacian is pretty good in the zeros.
yeah, but
Um,
as the shields go,
yeah,
magic gets worse, as is always the case against Charm.
of course.
Um, but Oscar's making calls. Oscar's making
He's
phenomenal
making
calls.
calls. We'll have to see if the
All
Sylveon
right, there
falls
we go.
to the pressure of Zacian. Very beautiful background there, by the way, Hannah.
Yeah, and I think you go straight Moonblast here. Actually, no, you probably just go Side Strike after you got Side Shock. You've got a
Yeah,
shield here, and then just Side Shock.
could close combat bait and switch out. Does chooses not to.
Yeah,
This is not great. One thing I will say though is that spending this shield, if Heatran is indeed here, you've guaranteed switch now, but all this energy would just go into Heatran,
I
which
would just
is
switch. I would just switch. I wouldn't throw the energy at Heatran. You've got double Heatran counters in the back.
has
And
has
we
has
do see
Milotic.
the
Okay,
Milotic come in. It is Dragon Tail. I think that's the right call. But I also think this is a phenomenal spot for Oscar to be in.
I think so too. One problem could be he has Haxorus in the back at
Yeah.
this point. That could put a lot of the Sylveon's pretty low,
It's
but
definitely
not low
not.
enough that you can comfortably counter down. You would take a lot of damage. I'm not sure that Haxorus could withstand all the fast move pressure that lies for it.
Yeah.
And wait,
And obviously there's no Heatran in the back, or it would have come in earlier.
yeah,
But that's just Oscar's playing very, very well here.
yeah, for sure. Oh, and okay,
Ooh.
it's Zarude. Zarude is a little bit of a problem.
I think you just
Um,
take a move here and switch.
it's very tanky.
Yeah.
You still have Cabana
You
still has shields, and
you got a two-step down.
I think he can Vine Whip down this Sylveon potentially.
I don't know about that. It'll be close.
It'll be close.
I don't think you do, but I think you beat it in the back. I think the Sylveon
Yeah,
gets through this
with
with
the
like 2
Milotic
HP.
and the Zarude, I think you can
Yes.
overwhelm this Sylveon
Yes.
now.
Yes. I think one Dragon Tail would kill this after these Vine Whips.
It looks like you're gonna get Vine Whip down right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a Simon KO. Yep. That was very, very tight. But really good job there by Cabana. Oscar
Yeah.
made a good read, but the Zarude was a very good call for Cabana. And I
Zarude's
think
very tanky. It's really not that bad against the Charmer.
it's deceivably tanky. You're right, and it's just we mentioned it. You got to drop the Heatran and just hope you can figure out a way to get the charm, and it worked very well.
It's a good adjustment for Cabana.
Yep.
I'm looking to see if he's going to continue to use Zarude in the final game in an attempt to tie it up. One thing that he might be worried about now is the Melmetal does look good against Zarude and Milotic, if that's what Cabana chooses to bring. Melmetal also can induce the Zacian into throwing predictable close combats that can be caught by a few of his mons. So
Agreed.
the other thing is like you can also just run Flash Cannon. We didn't talk about this at the beginning, but Flash Cannon superpower looks very good against Cabana. You can superpower anything that isn't Zacian and bail from it, put him on the back foot, and if you have Flash Cannon, you can deal quite a lot of damage. It doesn't quite one shot, but with the Thunder Shocks, you can certainly fast move down a Zacian that has taken Flash Cannon.
Yeah, I don't even think that's like up for debate. I think you definitely run Superpower Flash Cannon here. There's not a whole lot of room for Rock Slide to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Rock Slide obviously is typically better if there's flyers or like a Ho-Oh or a Dragon, but with none of those on Cabana's side, I think definitely Flash Cannon Superpower is very strong here.
Gives him a lot of options.
Yep.
So we're gonna look to see if Cabana can tie this up in a moment while we set up for the final matchup. And yeah, let's just get into it.
I do think we're going to be going over Twitter results after this matchup as well.
Oh, okay.
From the
Excellent.
polls.
We can see how wrong everybody was.
And we get the champ into the Zacian. We do know it has Heavy Slam now, so it's
Yeah.
less toothless in this matchup, but still a decently strong one for the fairy type.
Yeah, has a lot of play here. Might even decide to bait.
That's
And
so
it
risky.
hurts. It hurts to let a heavy slam go here if you're Zacian. Kind of a lot of pressure to shield this. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the bait.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. That was so risky because the heavy slam doesn't kill, and if the nuke doesn't kill, the bait is even riskier. At the same time, though, it worked out well there, and
The other thing is, have to be careful. You need to be careful switching out here. Okay, so he's just gonna elect to take it, which he definitely can.
Yep.
Maybe save this move. Yep, save the move. Go to Sylveon.
Oh,
Can absorb the surfs.
so many of them. It's just, this is fine for Sylveon. Milotic really needs the Dragon Tails to do damage to win a lot of its matchups, and so obviously being double resisted here, Sylveon's in a phenomenal spot.
The one thing I will say is if Cabana has decided to repeat the line that was successful for him, this is going to be very difficult for Oscar in the back to fight the Zarude.
Yep.
Obviously, the Machamp has energy, but it's very low, so it won't be able to put in that much work.
I think you throw here, and I think you just need to, yeah. This is a real good spot for Cabana to be in. The Sylveon's too low to do a whole lot here.
Yeah, for sure. If you have Zarude, just go try and get the Vine Whip down.
Yep.
And then what you really have to do is be aware. Well, you need to be aware of the energy counts. Have to know that this is not a Moonblast.
Yep.
You have to know this is not a Moonblast. He does. Okay.
Amazing.
Very good.
Amazing job.
And then now you need to be ready to not get hit by this cross chop.
Yep.
On Machamp. Of course, if he decides to go into Kyogre right now, expecting him to know that he's going to try and snipe him with the fast move.
Oh,
he chooses to catch the Power Whip on Kyogre. Is this a good play? I don't know. I think this is where you want the energy to go.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky because now you can almost get farmed down here. Not almost. Yeah. You can get farmed down here. I think that catch was costly.
That was a costly catch. Of course, Machamp should lose CMP to Zarude, so going in right away would be problematic to waste this energy. But it's just, you're not going to get two moves here.
Yeah. And a really good, really good play there.
He's now just going to get snarled down.
Yeah. And with the shields, there's not a whole lot of that much the champ can do there. Really well played by Cabana.
Good adjustment for Cabana to come back. Yeah, going down 0-2 in the beginning.
Zarude
and realizing what he needed to do to take care of business.
Yep. The Kyogre was too strong against the team he was bringing in Games 1 and Game 2, and he realized that Zarude, despite its weakness to Togekiss, was going to have to come in there to beat the Kyogre. And we saw it in both of those wins. Zarude took out the Kyogre.
I am very surprised that Oscar was extremely tentative to run the Melmetal. Didn't make a single appearance. I thought it looked pretty safe, but maybe he was too afraid of close combat from Zacian and from counter hacks. But I like Melmetal can hang in though. It doesn't get one shot by close combat, and if you have Flash Cannon for the Haxorus, you'll do a ton of damage there. And Haxorus doesn't have any charge move pressure.
Right. No, I agree 100%. I think that was definitely a good play. But we didn't see it, so
we didn't see it. No.
GG's there.
All right. Well, we have one last matchup to look at: Heater and Stefan.
Let's do it.
The other Ige brother going up against Heater. It's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Your thoughts?
We mentioned the double water strat that I really like, and I think it's pretty solid against this team. Obviously, the Verzian's a problem. But I do think Swampert specifically has really, really strong play if you can avoid that matchup. Obviously, it's really solid against the Dialga, the Jirachi, the Regirock, and it's fine against the rest of the team. So I think the Swampert comes for sure, and I think you pair it with your best anti-grass, like your that Tina or really whatever you want to protect Swampert from the grass. Heracross would make sense too, and work it through that way.
For sure. So what strikes me about Virizion is that it's excellent against like the bottom half of the team. Even
Yep.
good against Florges, which has no fast move pressure against it, and Moonblast doesn't one-shot, so you can just spam Leaf Blades. The problem with bringing Virizion though is that it gives the Origin like a chance to farm, and I really don't like Origin with energy. Could run the double nuke with Dragon Pulse and Shadow Ball to make sure that you can hit everything hard for neutral at the very least.
Yeah.
And two Dragon Pulses doesn't quite clean kill Yveltal, but it's unpleasant to say the least. One thing that I like for Heater though is Gust on Yveltal because he has a bit of a fighting weakness to Heracross, and bringing Jirachi is kind of unsavory because of the double ground that you mentioned. Gust Yveltal takes care of Heracross very easily. Has a lot of pressure against Florges. Doesn't get one shot by the Moonblast either. Good against Swampert and Gary and Giratina, of course. And isn't even that bad against the Excadrill because you can live a Rock Slide and the Gust chunk.
Yeah.
So I think that a Gust Yveltal can get into a good place to do a lot of damage here. But yeah, on Stefan's side, the double ground certainly is very dangerous. Could pair with Giratina. That would make a lot of sense, especially if you can bait out the Virizion for farm.
That's actually a really good point. I had not thought of Gust until you mentioned it, but I like that a lot. I also think there's definitely play to a Swampert Heracross core. Obviously, Gust would put a little bit of a problem with that team. But Heracross is just so good against Virizion. It can't really get hit by a whole hell of a lot. And it's good against the Dialga. So I think Swampert plus Heracross could be a core we see at some point. Either Tina double ground, Tina swamp Hera. I can see play for all those sets. So let's see what happens.
Dialga may not even come from
No,
either.
Dialga probably doesn't. It's got like 3 counters. I would not bring
Okay,
Dialga.
well, and we say that, and it is
Oh,
the lead into
this is why
Heracross.
we say these things. It's not a terrible lead for Dialga because Heracross is glassy here.
Yeah.
But still, you want to
He's
get out
gonna
of there.
go into his very
And it
hard
is
check.
Gust.
He's going into the hardest check to this right
It
off the
is
bat.
Gust.
Heater, please. Gonna
That was
shield
a
the Rock
very
Blast. It
good
doesn't
call.
really do that much.
Yeah, that was a very good call. And I'm shocked that Heracross stayed in to take 2 Gusts.
Yeah.
Oh, it just must not have a very good
Has
answer to
has
this.
the added Dragon Breath pressure from the Shadow Gary. But these gusts will do a tremendous amount of damage. Can take an Aqua Tail, without too much problem. So this this is tremendous damage. I don't think you shield this. There's a good chance that you can get some farm with the Dialga at the end of this
It's
matchup.
for sure Tina in the back, right? I think we're all on the same
Yeah,
page
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's got to be Tina in the back, and I think they were just taken aback by Gust. I don't think they.
Has to throw to avoid another move being thrown from the Yveltal, but now gonna get farmed down by Dialga, which I don't like for
Yep,
Stefan.
I agree.
Oh, he's
And
gonna go with Virizion. That also makes sense too.
that is a very good call there. You
Don't
don't
have to
need to
shield any of
shield
this.
anything, right? You take everything.
Quick
The
attack
Dragon Breath
down.
will add up, but you can farm down here pretty reliably.
You can quick attack this down. If there's a Giratina, it's a slight problem. Gonna dump this energy into a potential Giratina in the back.
Oh, the
Okay.
Heracross.
Oh, he's got ABA for the for the Dialga.
This Stone Edge, electing Stone Edge over Sacred Sword, this is going to do a lot more damage.
Yep. Oh, for
Although
sure.
I think
And
it would
it's
have
Swampert.
lost.
This is
Yeah.
game over. Yeah.
Yep.
Can't do anything here.
You are going to, I'm pretty sure, get outpaced to the second one because they started out with extra energy. But either way,
I mean, you can't even kill with a Hydro Cannon.
right?
Virizion is very tanky.
Yeah.
Could let this go for the disrespect heater. No shield. No shield.
Oh,
Please.
so
Heater.
close.
All right. So our heater already taking a tough loss to Stefan, not gaining the style points, going down a 0-1 right off the bat. That's got to be tough for heater, especially with such a good matchup here.
Yeah, that shield really cost them.
It really cost him the
We're
whole
writing
game.
down the -2 there for that.
I know. Can we put down -2 for heater?
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
You know, it's just that sometimes you just have to have that conviction to
Yeah.
stick to the style points. You know,
you got to do it. You got to do it.
it's I mean, Heater, you really had something there, and then you lost it. Anything that Heater can do to redeem himself in game 2.
Yeah, well, I think what he's got to do there is just make sure to win this game with 2 shields. Because that
Yeah,
I think
2 shields for
that would
sure.
make
I
up
mean,
for it.
you
That
know,
would make up for it.
anything less than that is like, why are we even playing this game?
Exactly. But beyond that, I don't think you bring Dialga. Like we said it
Yeah, no.
beforehand, we were immediately proven wrong when it showed up right away. But I don't think you bring it because like look, we saw that we saw Swampert and Heracross. As we said, it's a very good core there. They did go Heracross double water, and I think this Dialga has nowhere to go. Just nowhere to go.
Yeah, Stefan was really convinced that having the double Dialga answers was going to be valuable, and it was, but had nothing for the Veltal switch in, and just stayed in to let his Heracross be
Yeah.
half dead, throwing a very weak Rock Blast at
The
that
thing is,
as a
the thing
trade.
is, yeah, it was ABA against Dialga, but it was ABB against Yveltal. So
Right.
like, no, not sorry, Verzian. So like they're using the Gyarados to try and bring out the Verzian and save Swampert in the back. But if that play is gonna work, you need to switch the Heracross out with enough health to tank a move from the Verzian.
Right.
Because like the Heracross needed to beat that Verzian, and it just got so low with those gusts that it wasn't able to.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything. He stayed in
Yep.
way too long for that. So,
Yep.
Stefan, now that he knows Heater has Gusty Veltal, I expect the Heracross to probably make Heracross makes a lot of sense. It does check Eveltal. It checks Jirachi and Regirock. Obviously, you have a problem with Lando and Virizion, but guess what? Beats both of those and can get energy. Giratina with
Yep.
Dragon Pulse can do a lot of damage to the Eveltal. So I expect him to try and make this adjustment.
I think one adjustment Stefan can make is to bring the Excadrill to just have something that resists Gust.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna have to do that. And let's
Yep.
see what let's see what they decide to do in the next game.
All right. So we see Heater. Is he going to lead that Dialga again? He is not. We're going to see that Yveltal, and it does
Yveltal
lead
into the
right
into
into
the
the
Excadrill.
Excadrill.
Okay.
Huge lead
Now you
here.
can stay here. The thing is, you can stay here. You could even farm and then switch.
Yep. We on the it can comfortably take a rock slide. And I agree. I think you don't shield. And you just
I would for sure not shield this.
Yep.
You can apply pressure. Like you pretty much have to shield this Dark Pulse. If you don't, you'll be gust down.
Yep. You will get a shield first with the rock slide, but I still think that Yveltal's in a fine spot here. Because the main thing is you don't want Dialga anywhere near this. You know?
And this is the hardest check to like Dialga can bully everything else on Stefan's team, including Heracross. One thing he can't really bully is the Excadrill, so you could play him to lose the lead and then come with the Virizion, but he's going to switch his Dialga into a loaded Excadrill.
That's such a risky catch because if you miss the catch, it's almost GG's. Like this Excadrill is so loaded right now.
Oh, this is and I really like this play of saving that energy and tanking the Iron Head on the Gyarados.
You know this has to be an Iron Head. It's not anywhere near any other move, so you just tank it reliably. Really good call there by Stefan. Really good call.
Oh, Heater is Chris is right. Heater absolutely in shambles right now. What are you going to do? You could go Virizion to take these moves.
I guess, but you can't farm down because the Gyarados is way too healthy.
You can farm down, but you can absorb the energy here. But you're gonna have to build up a little bit and then Leaf Blade.
Yep, I agree. I think you can get to like 5 more quick attacks, maybe 6, and then throw. And I think that's your best option. I think you throw here. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Take another move. It's probably okay. If it's another ABA anti-Dialga team with either Heracross or Swampert in the back, both of these mons still have play.
You can underfarm here if you want to and get an extra quick attack. They underfarm not quite enough, but yeah.
And it is going to be the Giratina. This is going to be a very difficult game for Stefan to win.
Yeah.
For Heater to win,
yeah,
rather. For Heater to win. Yeah, this is. I think this is basically all but over at this point. You can even live this. You don't have to shield this.
Oh no, you definitely live this. Yep. Oh, you're gonna shield. But
it makes sense. This is the hardest hitting charge move now left.
Yep. And there's just not.
Now you have to shield Omnis Wind Baits potentially. Oh no. Okay, so he goes for Shadow. Well, that makes me think that he does have Dragon Pulse.
Yep, I agree, 100%. I think it's a good call. But yeah, there's no Omnis Wind. They would have thrown it if there was. But this is GG's.
This is Virizion is now in drill run range as well.
Yeah, and it can't touch the Tina anyway.
Can't do anything to the Giratina. Exactly.
So the Excadrill doesn't need to do anything. It just needs to die here, and
he just needs to die. And then now the way that Stefan can lose this game is by throwing a charge move. To correctly win this game, you have to Shadow Claw all the way down. Of course, Heater recognizes that it's over and makes the classy move to stop tapping, which I can really appreciate. If you can't win, at least demonstrate that you understand that you've lost.
The Virizion just sitting there like, hurry up, man. Just kill me already. But, yeah, I agree that, first of all, I agree that it's very well played by Stefan to make the adjustment. And I don't know if I love the Dragon Pulse on the Tina. I know it's big for Yveltal, but you already have Dragon Tail for that matchup. Oh no, it had Shadow Claw.
It was Shadow Claw, yeah. If you wanted a better Yveltal matchup where you could actually bully the Yveltal and potentially kill it, yeah, Dragon Tail would give you a really good 2-shield matchup.
My point, the better point I should have made was, I think instead of this moveset, Dragon Tail Double Ghost is a little better. You still get the Dragon fast move pressure against the Yveltal, and you got a better bait option for the Alga matchup.
Yeah, it makes sense. I really do not like bringing both Yveltal and Dialga. But if you are going to do that, you have to let the Yveltal die against the Excadrill, and then come in with the Virizion. He's not going to. It's a difficult position for him if he has Excadrill and Gary, because if he goes to Giratina, now you have the Dialga on the Giratina, right?
Yeah.
And then it's a problem because like the Virizion's going to sweep in the back. So you kind of have to sack the lead to have the right alignment with Virizion on the Excadrill. It's a bit of a difficult position. Kind of has to stay in and let the Excadrill die, so you can have the Giratina alignment. But then you have to go for like the 1v2 with Dialga.
The thing I don't like, man, is that he ran ABA weak to Excadrill when Excadrill was a very obvious adjustment his opponent was going to make. When we both called Excadrill coming, I think it's risky to run ABA weak to Excadrill because like there was just so little flexibility in that lead. And he tried to work out of it by catching a rock slide, but when he didn't catch that rock slide, I think that was GG's right there.
One thing I think Heater could do to adjust, first bring Lando, because I really like Lando here. And Lando does not die to one Hydro Cannon, which is very important. You double superpower a Swampert. When you're head on energy, which of course you will be, because they're not going to switch Lando into Swampert. Swampert will switch into Lando Say Swap. The other thing is, Lando, if it can bring out the Origin, that gives you a window for Yveltal to gust down, and then have energy for everything else on the team. So I think Lando needs to start coming, and I don't think you certainly cannot bring Dialga and Yveltal and lead one of them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The problem with Lando is just that we saw the double water. Obviously, it's not bad against Gyarados because Stone Edge, but it's not like the Gyarados just play there. And so if you lead Lando into a team that is Tina, Gyarados, Swampert, there's no really strong matchup where that Lando is going to shine. I do think it is a good save swap to draw out the Tina, like you mentioned, but it's just easier to find bad matchups with that than good ones, which is something that you need to worry about if you're a Heater.
Yeah, for sure. And if the Lando save swap brings out Gary, then now you can grab 2 shields.
Yeah.
And if you have Virizion, you have something that can now take that energy and then try and sweep with Yveltal on the back. I think that's probably how I would adjust, but we've talked enough. Let's just see what the players decide to do.
Let's do it. All right. This is where you want to see the
neutral-ish lead, favorable for Origin, but obviously the Stone Edge is certainly hurt.
The thing is, if you're a Heater, you'd much rather see the Tina here than on the Virizion. So like, I don't think you're mad about this matchup.
Yeah, no, for Heater, this is very good. For Stefan, you have to be thinking, is this where I want to use my Origin?
Exactly, because this is probably an ABB against Virizion team, and you need to save the Tina for that Virizion.
He's gonna look to catch this move. I don't hate this.
I don't think he did catch it, but he did. Wow.
So you won't be quite in Rock Slide range if he came with Excadrill. Obviously, he's gonna come in with Gary to capitalize on the chip damage with fast move pressure instead, which makes sense. You can easily live this.
Yeah, and the Gary brought the shield first, which is huge for this Yveltal.
You can easily live this. You have 2 shields and a healthy Lando. Honestly, if I don't shield this, I'm not shielding this as the Gary. I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna farm this thing down with Shadow Claws. So I think I would let that go.
The thing is, we know there's Virizion in the back. I think he was worried about Dialga in the back.
But either way, the Yveltal is now very low. It's gone, right? So there's no longer a check to Shadow Ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I don't I think you farm down here. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna
Oh,
be it's gonna be a
you just quick attack down now, and the Origin having taken that damage,
yeah.
it's now gonna have to consider shielding Stone Edges
Oh, it needs to
from
shield.
of all things of Virizion.
Yep. And I do think there's Swampert in the back, so switch advantage here. Oh, they switch into it.
Oh,
I don't like
so
that.
there probably must not be Swampert if he's just gonna
Yeah.
give up switch.
Uh-huh. I was sure there was Swampert in the back, but I agree with you. I don't think that you switch if there was.
Now, remember, I said this before, everyone. We must not judge the plays. We're in a difficult situation. Sometimes you make mistakes. We can't judge Stefan for shielding and then dumping all of his energy into Virizion and then switching out. Okay, like just put that out of your minds.
Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it. Okay, just stuff happens sometimes. We must not judge, no matter how bad the plays are. Okay. We have to remember these are human beings. They deserve our love and respect, even when they do stupid things.
And we're stone edging the Gyarados here, which I don't hate, but I don't love.
I don't really like this, honestly. I think you just superpower just to save energy, and he decides to shield that. Uses his last shield, Excadrill in the back for sure now. Oh, and this Excadrill's about to get pounded.
Yeah, there's just not a whole lot going on here.
Oh, this is quite bad. Even debuffed. I mean, this is a Landorus Therian, and this is an Excadrill.
Yeah, even debuffed is gonna be quite a bit.
This is just
quite
can't do anything. Now, do you shield this and mud shut down, or do you go for the quick attack down?
You need the quick attack down.
Yeah, quick attack down. I'm really liking. Oh, he goes for the Joran disrespect, trying to gain back some points.
But
in
the
an
quick
otherwise
attack down
hopeless
is
scenario.
Oh no!
He doesn't
no!
The Leaf Blade. No!
Come on,
Heater,
man.
with a second loss in this game.
Oh,
Heater gives up another game to Stefan, throwing the energy. Terrible plays. Absolutely.
Such an easy play there to just straight up quick attack down.
I know. I think I can speak for both of us when we condemn that Leaf Blade.
My disappointment is unmatched. My day is ruined.
Is there anything Heater can do to redeem himself now?
That's two X's, man. That's two.
I know it's two strikes. I mean, it's the third one, and I think we all know how baseball goes. So Heater really gonna have to step up his game in this final round to both win our hearts' approval and the match against Stefan.
The scoreboard on screen says 2-1 Heater. The scoreboard in our hearts has a very different story.
Yeah, this is an 0-3 right now, in my heart and mind. This is going to be really difficult for Heater to claw his way back into our favor. I think one of the things that he can do is, again, bring the land. I like the Lando in the Virizion with Yveltal, especially structured in like an ADA way. If he uses the Lando up on the Origin, lose that lead, come in with Yveltal, pretty much you're forcing, you're going to force like Stefan to switch out, and then maybe you can find that like positive matchup with Virizion later.
Yep. I will say, we haven't seen Swampert. I don't know if you want to risk just not having a counter to it, but if you can call the Swampert not coming again, you might just leave Virizion at home. Yeah.
It's something that like you need to consider at this point in time. The Virizion is really strong. Maybe Stefan will consider bringing Florges now that he's seeing Lando. He's seeing Yveltal, he's seeing Virizion. It makes sense. It's not the strongest against Yveltal and Virizion, but certainly in shields down scenarios, if you can previously chip them, I think Florges could be pretty valuable.
Oh, what do you run on Florges? Do you run double fairy?
I think you run because the psychic doesn't really do anything for you.
Yeah, I think you run double fairy. Makes sense.
You're still walled by Jirachi, which at this point clearly it's not going to come. You've got a Giratina, you've got 2 grounds, you've got Gyarados. I do not think the Jirachi is ever going to see the light of day in this.
No, I agree 100%. You could also bring Petal Blizzard, but it's not really a good move. So I think double fairy is fine.
It's not only is it not a good move, but it introduces lose cons with Petal Blizzard being caught, unlike Giratina or whatever. I think you just go for the hard hitting Moonblast. It does just fine against Excadrill. Anyway, it's very squishy, and you can certainly take a drill run. So yeah, I'm curious to see if Stefan will finally bring the flower as his final adjustment to try and tie this up. But let's get into the final round.
I just think Gyarados comes again. I think it's safe. Not phenomenal, but it's safe against this whole team.
Okay, right. This is the matchup that Heater's been waiting for. his whole
Yep.
life, has
This
the
is the
has
match
the best
we
lead,
want.
and the
And he
torch is gonna come
does!
out. Now here's the
Brings the
problem:
torch.
you do not have to switch out of this right away.
Yeah.
You can definitely gust this thing into a
Oh.
range where one Stone Edge will kill. You
Free
can shield
gust is
this,
huge.
have
Yep.
all of your energy for later, and then just go to Lando.
Yep, I agree. I think that's a really good call. And Lando is not going to. Oh, he's going to throw. I don't love that.
Get the shield too. This is I don't mind this play either. This Yveltal is very healthy. This bait, he probably will shield this. He really doesn't want the Giratina on this, and now I think you can just go to Lando and just take anything that this thing throws and kill it with one Stone Edge.
Yep, I think that was a really good call there. I think once you committed the throw, gusting a little extra was the play, and now you can comfortably outpace the Stone Edge, and he keeps switch. And like you mentioned, oh actually.
Yeah, I think this is totally fine to shield. I think Yveltal's matchup is just so dominant against the Giratina that this is a fine shield. Plus, you're gonna be able to land the Stone Edge on the Origin, put it close to half, so that now the gust pressure is just going to be a lot.
Yep. Getting switch was the most important thing there.
Yeah,
so
definitely getting switch is the most important thing. This thing he's now going to have to reveal if he actually does have Dragon Pulse, and he's going to need to double Dragon Pulse this Yveltal.
Yep. And it's not gonna, he's gonna take a lot of damage from the Gust, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And the Yveltal also has energy, so not a bad spot here. You'll get a shield back if you're Yveltal, most likely.
For sure. The only thing that I would be worried about now is throwing a Dark Pulse into like a Excadrill or a Swampert or something.
Yep. Well, Swampert you win either way because you've got that version.
Yeah, you do. So like basically the only way to win this game, if you have like one of those things in the back of Stefan, is to try and preserve the Origin and get enough farm to double pulse this thing, and then have enough health to fight the Virizion in the back. One thing that he could do, but we already know it's not going to happen, he could have Iron Head for the coverage for Virizion, but we already know it's Drill Run Rock Slide. He's completely walled here. He's just going to get farmed up on. You're going to need to leaf. You don't have Sacred Sword or Close Combat, so you are going to need to Leaf Blade this more than once.
Yep. But like you can tank 2 moves so reliably. You're tanky, you reduce everything.
3.
Yeah, exactly.
Take it all. Just give it. Just give us everything you've got.
Virizion is so strong against both the Swampert and the Excadrill. This is just a situation where Heater had the team comp and is playing it well.
Oh, this is a hard comp win for Heater. And then, you know, after you land this, I mean, you may not even want to drill run, get the final drill run because you want more farm to pulse the Yveltal, but it's really just not going to matter at this point in time.
Yeah, the problem is this Virizion is not going to be locked in for very much longer.
Yeah, now it's like, do you have to shield a Stone Edge from Virizion on your Giratina? It's just terrible.
I definitely think you can just get out here.
Yeah,
and
then it's like, he knows he can't shield it, has the move here. I mean, you shield, you get killed by the Dark Pulse, you don't shield, you can just be gusted down.
I think Stefan's main play here was having like 4 shields. Might have had a shot.
The main,
beyond that,
definitely did not bring enough shields to this matchup.
Gotta bring more shields.
You land the Pulse here to kill this, but I would love to see. He cheaps out on energy and dies to the Gust that snuck through on the charge move. If you get the Pulse though, I mean, you might be quick attack down. It's like you don't have Ominous Wind to get to save you from that fate.
Yep. Quick attack needed to do at least 1 damage, so there was no real play around that.
Heater able to make the comeback in the final game to redeem himself from prior mistakes.
Down 0-7 with those missed BMs, comes back and wins the last game.
For sure. And picks up the 3-1 against Stefan. It's a difficult first round loss to swallow, I think, for Stefan, especially when he probably considered the double ground to be a very strong strat.
Yeah,
against Heater.
It was a pretty strong strat. The only problem was the Virizion and just not lining it up properly. Like the Yveltal always got on the right Pokemon, and so did the Virizion, and that was the play there.
Strategy needed to be to bait out Virizion with something to then get the farm with Origin to start dropping nukes on the Yveltal, which I didn't see occur here. But in any case, I'm really curious to see what the Twitter poll results were.
Let's look at it.
Okay, so poll results. Kelsey and Chris, clear favorites. Kelsey having a bit of a difficult initial matchup, but able to tie it up. So a solid neutral result. Chris also favored, but we all know how that went. And now, especially seeing this poll result, we all know he got his heart broken.
Yeah. Got his heart broken by a Heartbreaker who was a little bit not very middle, but I think
Yeah.
Heartbreaker definitely performed very strong in relation to these votes. And we see there, I think Twitter understood that Heater was going to make some BM mistakes, which is why they had him at 6.
Yeah, they had him, but I think they did a good job calling. I think the bottom of the order here, Stefan getting absolutely dominated by Heater, Anthrax dominated by Oscar, Cabana and Flume struggling to keep up with their opponents. Certainly, it looks like the polling audience was very attuned to the results here.
Yeah, strong results. Obviously, thanks a lot to everyone who voted. We love that engagement. And really strong play all around from everybody today.
For sure. So I think that's it for us today. It's like we have the 4-0 from Oscar on Anthrax. Heartbreaker picking up the impressive 3-1 against Chris. 2 ties with Flume and Kelsey, Oscar and Cabana, and then Heater closing out the stream strong with the 3-1 over Stefan. So do we have a leaderboard? Yeah, live table league to see who's in first place. Oscar currently in first. I really did like his team. I thought the Kyogre and the Melmetal round 1-2 was really smart because you can always get dragons later.
Yep. We will say this is a slightly deceptive one because Oscar has played twice, no one else has.
Yeah,
but
that is true. That is true.
At the same time, the 4-0 would put him in first either way.
4-0 absolutely dominating. First appearance. Heartbreaker and Heater both looking solid with 2 points apiece. Obviously, it's early, right? And it's still anyone's game. Flume and Kelsey and Cabana running in the middle, 1 point apiece, and then Goku hasn't played yet, of course. Down at the bottom with people who have played, like Chris and Stefan, so not playing is meta confirmed. And anything you'd like to add, Joe?
No, I just want to say, I will say that it looks very close, and it always is in round 1.
Right.
But you see a bunch of people, like one game separates second place from 6th place, so it's gonna be very interesting to see which of those like 2 through 6 people get an edge going into weeks 2 and 3, and tries to catch up to Oscar with his commanding lead up front.
Oh yeah, and for sure there's still plenty of time to catch up. So yeah, having looked at that, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I know I personally love being here. Joe, I know, always loves to comment. You guys should definitely check him out on Twitch at Shut Up Toshi, and follow him on Twitter if you haven't already, because he always has interesting things to say.
Appreciate
it.
I
personally, I just like to stare into your eyes, so I hope you come back for more so I can just look at your gorgeous face.
We should just do an entire stream of that.
I know. We should just
staring
be looking at each other.
It's weird that there's
I would love that. It would be amazing. And of
course,
either way, take it away.
I was gonna say, thanks so much for everybody having me on. I think that the second or third time I've done one of these. I love these Master League draft tournaments. The metas are always so fun and so flexible. We always see really good battles. I never regret coming on here. They're always amazing battles. So thank you all for having me. Thanks a lot to David for casting with me. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next time.
For sure. And with all that said, thank you to our staff, Rar Books, Polar Bears, Dave, that is the correct pronunciation. Don't at me. And GCB. With this concluded, we should probably look to raid somebody. So Hannah, if you want to take a look around, let's find someone who could use the views.
Let us do it. If anybody in chat sees anybody who's live.
Yeah, who do we got? Who? I don't know, Joe. Let's have you decide. Who do you like?
Well, I am biased. Caleb is one of my closest friends. So I would vote for Caleb, but obviously all those people she just mentioned were very good options.
It looks like Caleb's doing Pokemon Unite, so I don't know if our chat's into that. If you guys want
to
Pokemon Go content,
that's a good point. I didn't notice that. Well, yeah, Bill and Inadequates are both solid options there for Pokemon Go. Let's do it.
All right, we'll do Inadequates purely out of favoritism, since he will be doing one of these shoutcastings for us later.
You gotta hype up the casters.
You gotta tell your boy Caleb he needs to stream Pokemon Go if he wants to be rated by us.
Makes sense.
I will
let Caleb know that he made the same mistake that Heater made.
Exactly.
Team comp, he led Unite instead of Go, and it just